The purpose of this court recording is to show you how to send an individual consent or assent link to a patient in the rare case the text feature is not working. Please keep in mind by default, when you enroll a patient on the MA screener, the text should go out to the patient assuming that their phone number is working. However, in some cases, there might be errors that come up, and there is a way to individually send the parental consent and patient assent forms manually to a patient. Your first step will be the same as you do for your normal screening. Click on the report that says MA Call Screening Report. And by default, the patients who have not filled out the consent and assent forms will appear here. You'll then click on the record ID, the underlined number here, to go to the individual account or page. After clicking on 1011, I'll see all the forms that are visible. Please note that for this training, all forms appear, but the only ones necessary for the MA will appear, and that'll include the parental consent and assent forms. One thing to keep in mind is the legend here that explains the status of each icon. But more than anything, looking at the parental consent and assent forms, you'll see that there's survey next to them, and that indicates that it's an outward facing or a patient facing instrument, or in this case, a survey. So, what you would do is once you have determined the phone number to text the survey link to, you will then click on this dot here. If any time a link has been opened, it'll be red, but that means that it's not complete. Clicking on the dot, you will then be taken to this next page. This shows how it is as an inward user, but you want to actually go to the link that goes to the patient. So your next step after going to this page is clicking on Survey Options and Open Survey. You then will copy and paste the link and then send it through text message to the patient. You'll need to make sure that you're following your organization's policy for different platforms, but in our case at UT Health Houston, we use the Google Voice. Regardless of the platform you use, you will then copy and paste this link into the chat. Since we want patients to fill out both forms, you would individually copy that chat, then you would leave without saving changes, and then go back to this main page with the record ID and do the same step with the Youth Produce RX survey. Clicking on the patient assent. You would click on this dot here, go to the top of the page, survey options, open survey, and then copy and paste the link. One thing to keep in mind is by default, the language will appear Spanish or English, depending on which preference you have, but you're able to alter just as the user can. Then you copy and paste this link and send it out to the patient for either the parent to complete both or for the youth to complete, depending on which phone numbers are provided. Thank you.